Hello, welcome to a new Yoga with Tim session. So we're just going to do a little bit of a strengthening flow. We'll take our time talking through the poses as we go along, and I hope you enjoy the session. So start by bringing the legs out 3 to 4 foot apart. If you have problems with your knees, overextension, problems with the patella or kneecap, then take the legs out wider, and this will stop you from coming to a 90-degree bend when we're coming into the warriors. So turning the right foot out 90 degrees so it's facing the opposite wall, and turning the other foot just in ever so slightly at the toes. Inhale the arms to shoulder height. Exhale, reach over the right foot and then bring the hand down to the shin. If you need to have a block here, you can do. Try not to put pressure through that leg because that will impact on the knee. You can rest the hand against the shin or on a block. You want to try and ensure the shoulders stay in line with the hips. You don't want to be coming forwards. Keep pulling that back, pulling the top shoulder back, looking up to the hands in triangle pose or trikonasana. Nice strengthening pose through the legs, the hamstrings, the side body. Take a few breaths here. If you're feeling any tension in the knee, you can put a slight bend into it. The main thing is not to be pushing against this leg, because you don't want to be putting pressure through that kneecap. On an exhale, bringing the hand down, twisting the body to fold over that front leg. Again, this is a strengthening pose for the hamstrings. Try and keep the back as flat as possible. If you need to bend the front knee, you can do. Again, you can have your hands resting on blocks here. And just taking a few breaths into the pose. Try to bring your hips around square, but not forcing them. So just bringing them as square as possible before you start to feel the tension in the knee. You will feel tension in the back of the knee because this pose is working the hamstring. It's at the front of the knee. You don't want to feel tension, and you don't want that kneecap twisting. The kneecap should remain facing forwards. If it's starting to twist, release the hips slightly. Bend the knee a little bit if you need to. Now bending the knee, bringing the back leg up off the floor and coming to stand. Catch hold of that back leg so your hand is just on the top of the foot. So you're not holding on the ankle, you're holding just on the top of the foot. Push the foot into the hand behind you and bring the body forwards, lifting the chest high and bring the hand up in front of you. Again, try and keep those hips as facing forward as much as possible, having a slight bend in that standing leg. So this is quite a strong balance pose. Really works through that standing leg, but also works the thigh on this leg. Now release the leg, taking the leg out straight behind you. Oop. And the arms out in front, coming into warrior 3. So you want the back toes to be pointing downwards, the hips to be as square as possible, and ideally you want the leg and the body to be in one straight line. It's not always as easy as it sounds. Just go as far as you can into the pose. On the next exhale, taking the back leg down. So try and keep the feet, again, 3 meters apart, 4 meters if you struggle with problems in your knees. Also, the ideal pose is to have the front heel in line with the arch of the back foot. However, again, if you find that you have problems with the knees, it might be better to have the heels in line. Exhaling, bending into that knee. Ideal pose. 90-degree angle. Any knee problems, you want to make sure that you're not quite going to 90 degrees to protect that kneecap. If you see that the kneecap isn't facing forwards, if it's starting to move off to one side or the other, again, come back out of the pose. So you really need to be paying attention to your body. Inhaling the arms up, looking over the right hand. So again, this is a warrior pose, so this is a strong pose. Really pushing through both of those feet, grounding through the floor. Resisting against gravity with the arms. Make sure your body's nice and straight. Your pelvis is tucked slightly. You don't want to be arching backwards. You want your shoulders to be directly over your pelvis. And your knee wants to be pointed towards the middle of the foot. So straight forwards over that middle toe. Exhale, lower the arms, straighten the leg. And we'll do it all on the other side. So turning the left foot out, right foot in slightly, hips stay forwards, inhaling the arms up. Exhale, reaching over to the wall before coming down. And again, taking care not to press into that leg. Just want to be resting on it. If you find you're pressing, put a block down, rest on a block. In this pose, if you're feeling any tension in the neck, you can either stay looking forwards or you can look down. Just make sure that the shoulders remain stacked on top of each other, so you've got the opening in the body still. And the next exhale, bringing the top hand down, turning the body to come over that front leg. And again, if you need to turn that heel out a little bit, feel free to do so. If you need blocks, feel free to get blocks. You can have them at whatever height is better for you. And if you need to bend the knee slightly, bend the knee slightly. Working on keeping the back nice and flat. You're pulling the chest to the front of the foot, not pulling it to the knee. Relaxing the neck. Bending through that leg so that you can get the weight into that front foot, bringing the back leg up, taking hold of the foot. If you need to get your balance here, you can take your other arm out to the side. So, on the other side. Again, taking hold of the top of the foot, pushing the foot into the hand and coming forwards. Bringing the other hand up in front of you, bringing the chest up. Nice back bend, balance here. Ooh. The important bit is to have the hand pushing into the foot. This is the important part of the posture. So if you can't bring your hand up, if you need to keep the arm out for balance, feel free to do that. If you can't look up, feel free to keep looking down. Slowly start to straighten that back leg out, bringing the arms forward, coming into warrior three. So again, the back toes want to be pointing downwards. You want to try and have the hips nice and square. Really reach through the body. Sorry. Just a couple more breaths here. And then on the next exhale, bringing that back leg down, bending the knee. You might want to widen the stance slightly. Taking the arms out to shoulder height, looking over the left hand. So again, just being aware of what's happening with that front knee. Make sure that your arms are in line with each other and that this arm isn't pulling back. Keep the knee pulling back, opening out that hip. Then on the next exhale, dropping the arms, straighten the leg and come into the top of the mat. So we're going to come into a forward fold now. Again, as I've said before, if you need to use blocks, feel free to grab them and use them. I'm going to inhale the arms up, just look up to the sky and then folding forwards. Bending the knees if you need to, using blocks if that feels nice. Trying to keep the back as straight as possible. See where I'm in the chest to the floor. And then if you can, taking the hands underneath the feet. If you can't, resting them where is comfortable, using blocks if you need to. You can bend the knees slightly. You want to release the neck, release any tension. This is a hamstring pose, not a neck pose. And you want to be pushing the sit bones up to the ceiling. So you're really active through the legs. Two more breaths here. If you're standing on your fingers, take the hands out and then step the legs back into plank, coming down through chaturanga to come to the floor. So flatten the feet on the floor, your hands want to stay as they are. We're going to come into Cobra Pose. Now Cobra's a nice little back bend, so we're doing the full Cobra, not baby Cobra, so we are going to put pressure through our hands. You want to keep the pubic bone on the ground and you want to keep your chest reaching forward. So as you're inhaling, pushing through the hands, using the back to lift the chest, pushing the chest forwards. So you don't want to cramp in the upper back, you're not pushing back like that, you're straightening and pulling through. The pubic bone is staying on the floor. The arms may well stay bent. You want to pull the shoulders down away from the ears. If you feel any pinching in the lower back, come down, start again. Really reaching through the chest as you come up, and don't come up so far. The lower back shouldn't pinch at all. Might feel a little bit uncomfortable, but it shouldn't be pinching. This pose works both the arms and the back, and also stretches through the front of the body, toning the abdominal muscles. Exhale, coming down. And pushing back into Child's Pose. So we're going to do our final relaxation in Child's Pose for this one, because we've done a few back bends, and this will just gently move the spine in the opposite direction. Now you can either have your knees together or slightly apart. For a relaxation, I prefer to have them slightly apart so that as you're breathing, the abdomen moves in between the thighs rather than pushing against the thighs. And then just bringing your awareness to your breathing. Just notice the breathing until it slows down to normal, feeling it moving through the nose. Feeling the diaphragm expand, the abdomen expand on each inhale and contracting on every exhale. Don't force the breath, just let it come back to normal on its own. And then once the breathing's back to normal, you can do a quick body scan. Just feeling the sensations throughout the body. Feeling the legs, the hips, the back, the arms, and especially the knees. A lot of these poses have been quite strong on the knees. If you're feeling any niggling in the knees now, then it's something to remember for next time. Your knees shouldn't feel uncomfortable at all in this position after doing that routine. If you are feeling any niggles in the knees, then next time you need to have a look at how you're practicing the poses and really pay attention and see where the knees aren't following the correct positioning. Paying attention to how they feel in each of the poses, pulling back out the poses where needed. Everybody's body is different. Every pose has a different appearance when it's perfect for that person. There's no point aiming for the perfect pose that you see online. Now bringing the awareness to the breath. And just seeing the breath moving into the muscles of the body, allowing them to relax. Really relaxing into the ground. Feel as though you're sinking into the ground, giving its gravity. If you feel any tension anywhere, breathe into that area. Imagine the breath moving into that area as a white light, moving through the muscles to relax the muscle fibers and release the tension. If at any point during the final relaxation you find that this pose is too uncomfortable, you can always come into Shavasana. If your mind wandering, just gently bring it back to the breathing. Imagining a white light moving through the body, releasing any tension, working on those muscle fibers. And maybe you start to imagine that your body is just filling up with this white light as you're breathing in. And maybe on the exhales, you're exhaling all the dark, used energy back out into the atmosphere to be recycled. And then slowly bringing your awareness back to your body. Wiggle your fingers a little bit. If you've moved into Shavasana, you can wiggle your toes as well, and gradually bring your knees into your chest. Slowly coming up to a seated or kneeling position, keeping the eyes closed. Rubbing those hands together to create some energy between the hands and the palms, creating some heat. And then bringing the palms to rest over the eyes. Taking a couple of breaths here, just resetting your mind, ready to carry on with your day. Start center. Namaste. Thank you for practicing.